Communication and Innovation Towards Sustainable Development Goals 2030, being hosted by Delhi Metropolitan Education. ICAN 8 is proudly presented by a sustainable hydration partner, Iota Water, in collaboration with IIMCR, Gender Section, History Section, along with SACA, that stands for South Asia Communication Nations. Yesterday, we commenced ICAN 8 with a powerful and insightful inaugural plenary session held at DME campus, and the second plenary session that was online in the evening by a panel of 7 international speakers across the globe from USA, Canada, India, Pakistan, Nigeria. We had 2 technical sessions at the campus yesterday and 4 technical sessions online this morning with over 90 participants. 2 master classes were conducted here in the studio 62, one yesterday and one today. The international conference theme, Media for People and Planet, Communication and Innovation Towards Sustainable Development Goals 2030, is not just a theme. It is a responsibility, a call to rethink how media shapes societies, empower communities, and contributes towards a more sustainable future. Today, as we come together for the valedictory ceremony, we celebrate not just the conclusion of the conference, but the spirit of ideas, collaboration, and intellectual engagement that made this journey truly remarkable. We are deeply honored by the gracious presence of our esteemed guest, Mr. Rajiv Tikku, Development Communication Expert, Mr. Ajit Singh Kumar Singh, AGM Marketing Iota Water, Mr. Dr. Kawaljit Singh, Associate Professor, Department of Journalism, Himachal Pradesh University. We also have Professor Dr. Komal Vik, Director, DME. Professor Dr. Parul Mehra, Head, DME Media School and Convener, ICAN 8. Dr. Yamini Khullar, Associate Professor, Convener, ICAN 8. Now, to formally begin this ceremony, I would first like to have the glimpse of DME Media School. DME Media School is a proud constituent of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University and has always strived to foster critical thinking and meaningful dialogue in media and studies. Now, to offer a glimpse, I would request the AV team to please play the Thank you. It is now my honor. It is now my honor to invite Professor Dr. Parul Mehra, Head, DME Media School, to deliver her welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Divya. Honorable dignitaries present on the dais, guest of honor, Mr. Rajiv Tikuji, Mr. Ajit Kumar Singh, Dr. Kawaljit Singh. I truly appreciate your unalloyed confidence and support that you are here with us and you have accepted our invitation to be the guest of honor and grace this occasion. My special mention to Mr. Ajit, who is the marketing head of Iota Waters, for being hydration partner of this event. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us in this event. Our Director General, Sir, Honorable Mr. Justice, he was supposed to, attend this valedictory ceremony, but Sir is stuck in some professional commitment. I hope Sir will be joining us soon. Director DME, Professor Komal Vij, ma'am, my other convener, Dr. Khullar, co-convener, Dr. Divya and Ms. Chetna, all the participants who are here with us, my dear colleagues and all my dear students, very good afternoon to all of you. Totally a matter of pride that I'm welcoming you all to the valedictory ceremony. And it is absolutely an honor to share with all of you that we have successfully accomplished 7 successful editions of ICAN already. And we are concluding the successful 8th edition of International Media Conference ICAN 8 this year on the theme Media for People and Planet, Innovation, and Communication Towards Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Well, this year we are truly honored because we have hosted such a diverse gathering, actually from all across the globe. And we have successfully conducted plenary sessions, master classes, technical sessions yesterday. Technical sessions were, so insightful. The deliberations that have come out were so productive about the sustainable development goals that we are soon going to turn them into a chapter, and we will come out with the thematic books also. So the key concept of organizing this conference, ICAN 8, was actually to provide a good platform for all the researchers, scholars, students to present their research work actually. And that has happened in the technical sessions that have taken place yesterday and today also. And this has helped them to get involved in the relevant academic discourse and exchange of ideas, views, opinions, understanding through their through plenary sessions as well. And panel discussions, master classes, they all were so fruitful for all the students and participants who have joined us that it had turned out to be a sensible discourse for people across. This conference has also provided a deep platform for the interaction of people from academics as well as the industry. And this has been leading to the innovations and sharing new thoughts for the betterment of the mankind, because the theme was relevant in terms of sustainable development goals. So through this conference, we have received actually a very overwhelming response for more than 19 insightful papers, and they were presented in 6 technical sessions which happened in online and offline mode both. And I'm also very pleased to share that ICAN 8 had collaborated this time with 2 international bodies. One is SACA, which is South Asian Communication Association, and the other is IAMCR, specifically with the Gender and History section. IAMCR stands for International Association of Media Research and Communication, and one of the most prestigious platform of communication and media research also. And this overwhelming response of 19 insightful papers have actually underscores that the significance of this theme that we have chosen has already had set to explore as a need of an hour. So yesterday, some prominent media experts from all across the globe, not just only from India, but from UK, US, Lebanon, then Pakistan, Nigeria, have been with us yesterday. And the deliberation was so fruitful that it has given lots of hope in terms of sustainable development goals. We had conducted 2 master classes and deliberation with 5 technical sessions also. This has brought together the creme de la creme of the media fraternity from India and across the globe. Now, I discussed yesterday also, just to give a little insight, that why did we choose this theme, media for people and planet. See, there is a rapid technological advancement, and disruption has led to global interconnectedness, and this shifting of socio-economic landscape, I believe that the role of media has never been more critical the way it is now. So ICAN 8, Media for People and Planet and Innovation Towards Sustainable Development Goals 2030, has actually been designed not only a regular academic exercise that we are bound to do every year in a form of a conference, but we are looking forward this as academic as well as a policy oriented conference, which has meant and designed with the vision to explore how transformative ideas, communication strategies, and of course the decisive actions for the nation building can be, done as a whole by the different global platforms also in the realization of the SDGs 2030. So keeping this major aspect and the concern of the, in terms of understanding the planet and the people and the role of media, this conference was actually an humble effort towards bringing the light to this concern. Of course, it's a pertinent issue, it's an issue of today's time. And what is the role of media in development communication? We have a development expert today with us in the form of Mr. Rajiv Tiku, sir. I think nobody could be better than him to discuss about it, because sir is been traveling and discussing about this area at different national and international platforms. I just wanted to thank all of you who are there on the dais today and who have joined us, and all the participants from different parts of India. Thank you for making the journey of ICAN unforgettable for all of us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your meaningful address, and thank you for making ICAN 8 more impactful and meaningful during the course of action. I now respectfully invite Professor Dr. Komal Vig, Director, DME, to address the audience.
Esteemed dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, respected guests, faculty members, dear participants, and most endearing students. A very good afternoon to you all. It is our privilege to host ICAN 8 this year. I was going through the last 7 editions of ICAN, which were organized on various themes, and every year I have seen improvement and enrichment, not only in the selection of the themes, but also in terms of participation and later on publications. So my heartfelt congratulations to the organizing team of ICAN 8 under the able mentorship of Dr. Parul. Of course, this event is possible only when the team, the participants, they perform the best, and they are coming up with the ideas to enrich people like me who are not from the media stream. So as a keen student who want to understand how media can actually benefit, how media can actually create awareness in the society, not only in common public issues, but also for the development of SDGs. Honestly, this conference brought an insight how a common man like me can understand that media is playing a vital role. Media is a main player who is bringing these SDGs into reality on ground level. This gave me an insight how the media personnel are not only good in reporting, but they are brilliant in publications also. I read the abstracts which have been submitted, and of course, the papers which have been presented in the last 2 days. Honestly, those were very enlightening, those were very thoughtful and well researched papers. Apart from that, I am extremely delighted and we are privileged to have top media professionals, the prominent figures from the media industry in the last 2 days. And it was actually our honor to host them. And I must say, I was personally very much benefited after listening to the views, to the thoughtful expressions they have made in the last 2 days. And we are extremely delighted to tell, as Dr. Parul has informed, that many international personalities, the media personalities, have participated in this conference from US, Lebanon, and many other countries. And the sessions have been thought-provoking. I could just say, wish all of you best of luck. I think with well done research in this stream, we can certainly help the world to ensure our goal of achieving the SDGs by 2030. With all the good wishes, thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for your encouraging words. Now I request the dignitaries to kindly felicitate the guests. May I request Mr. Rajiv Tikku, Development Communication Expert, to please come for felicitation. Can we have a huge round of applause, please? May I now request the dignitaries to felicitate Mr. Ajit Kumar Singh, AGM Marketing, Iota Water. On this note, I would again like to mention that ICAN 8 is proudly presented by Iota Water, our sustainable hydration partner. I now request the dignitaries to please felicitate Dr. Kamaljit Singh, Associate Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Himachal Pradesh University. Thank you, dignitaries. Thank you, guests. As we move forward, let us take a moment to revisit the wonderful journey of this conference through a short presentation. We'll have a glimpse of ICAN journey through an AV.
If they wanna test my luck, finger on the trigger. I ain't never giving up. Rock up in my pocket. If they wanna test my luck, finger on the trigger. I ain't never giving up. They wanna test my luck, finger on the trigger. I ain't never giving up. Rock up in my pocket. If they wanna test my luck, finger on the trigger. I ain't never giving up. If they wanna test my luck, finger on the trigger. I ain't never giving up. Rock up in they wanna test my luck, finger on the trigger. I ain't never giving up.
And I'm ready for the fight. Eyes up on the target, and I'm working in the night. And I'm a finger on the middle, and I'm ready for the fight. Eyes up on the target, and I'm Blacks out, moving like a mold dog. Mold dog. That old spot. Moving like a mold dog. Kill a bean, throw it back, this that so raw. Southwest with the shits, this that old spot. Sound boy in the ground, fuck his old spot. Dirty nasty lingo that be attracting them. It's crazy when we roll, yeah, we make a roll. If you know, then you know. If you don't, you don't. Nigga, this is all loud. Never speak them low, speak them low. Dirty nasty lingo that be attracting them. It's crazy when we roll, yeah, we make a roll. If you
I think that definitely deserves an applaud, and louder and louder. Marvelous work done by Studio 62 Frames team, and the moments were beautifully captured. With this, I would now like to begin with the guest addresses. It is an honor to have with us the presence of Rajiv Tikku sir, who is a journalist, editor, podcaster, and development communication expert with a specialization in sustainability, and ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance communication. He currently produces the Sustainability Karma podcast for All India Radio and serves as the convener of Yuva for Sustainability, promoting youth engagement in sustainable development initiatives. Over the course of his career, he has held senior editorial and leadership positions with prominent organizations, including the Indian Express Group, the India Today Group, the Outlook Group, the UN Millennial Campaign, and One World Group. Mr. Tikku has edited reports and books that have been published by organizations such as the United Nations, Niti Aayog, and Penguin Random House. He is the recipient of prestigious global fellowship from the Cambridge Program for Sustainability Leadership. It is an honor to have you us amongst today, sir. May I please request you to give your address?
Good afternoon and greetings to all of you. It's wonderful to see a full audience after lunch on the last day for the last session. Amazing. There can't be anything better for speakers. So thanks a lot for being there. And thanks a lot for ma'am for your kind words and for the invitation and of course giving an overview of the things. And that was a very generous introduction by ma'am, but I'll just pick on one of the things here which is very directly relevant here. What I'm currently doing is I'm running something called Yuva Sustainability Internship Program. Now, this program is for youth all over the country to sensitize them on sustainability issues largely. While it's about, we understand that all colleges, universities, campuses, schools, they all have eco clubs and what all kind of clubs. And they generally focus on, I can understand that some colleges even have 100 plus clubs and the kind of workload you guys have. But there are two things which all of these do generally all over the country. One is that they engage in tree plantation campaigns. The other is on no plastic campaigns, generally on World Environment Day, which are very important. And of course, it's great that doing this. But having said that, there are other issues also, which are equally important. So what we're trying to inform people that sustainable development is also other issues which are equally important, whether it's health, education, gender, or for the matter, air pollution, water pollution. So we're trying to show the bigger picture and break it down into smaller pieces and then link up the dots to come up with stories for media people, which in turn we expect will lead to some kind of behavior change and then of course to outputs, whether in their personal lives or in their careers. So that's where I come from. So there's a very direct kind. So I'm really glad to see the kind of topic which we have, which is not very fashionable today, particularly given the current context of the Iran war. Though that should have been the reason to do it actually, but then taking a back seat. If we look at Iran war, what is happening is that apart from death and destruction, what we see, there's another smaller story, which is equally important. What's happening is the emissions of the war, for example. Now, if we look at the emissions of the war in the first 15 days, and we're into 45th day probably now, in the first 15 days, the emissions of the war itself were, ma'am, equivalent to emissions of around 80 plus countries, annual emissions. That is the kind of scale of effect on emissions and global warming what we're talking about. And these are not only poor countries, these are also countries which are high emission intensity countries, like, for example, Kuwait. Kuwait is a rich country and their emission intensity, per capita emission intensity is much higher than most of the countries. Even Iceland, which is on the higher side. And there are hardly 200 plus countries in the world. So 88 countries or 84 countries emissions equal to 15 days of emissions in the war. But the story doesn't stop here. The story goes much beyond. What is also happening is we all of us have been told that 20% of the global oil moves through the strait. But what's also happening is that 25% of the fertilizer also moves through the same strait. Now, fertilizer looks like, for we are all from urban places, it doesn't look very important to us. But as it is, fertilizer means translates into agriculture, translates into food, and food translates into poverty, hunger, education, health, everything else. So there are too many linkages which are happening. And before the war, we're doing very poorly on SDGs, unfortunately, which SDGs which end in 2030. So we have 4.5 years, which is around 1,500 days. And if we look at the working days, they're just 1,000 days globally. And if we look at India, of course, we won't even have those 1,000 days, unfortunately. So SDG goal of 2030 is very near and we're already lagging. According to data, we have hardly achieved 17% of the targets. Now, what are the total overview? I'm sure most of you would know there are 17 goals, there are 169 targets, there are 300 plus indicators. So out of them, we've just achieved 17% of the targets. And half of the targets are lagging in educate pace in achieving them. And 33% of the targets where we are either receding or we are stagnating. So before the war, the situation of SDGs was already bad. The war is making it worse. And we still don't know what is the latest, whether the war is ending or is getting paused for time being. But having said that, even if that happens in the best case scenario, the chain reaction has set in place and it's going to continue and affect us. And we're not still talking about Ukraine war, which is still going. And nobody's even talking about ending it now. It's no more a discussion point. So that is the situation we are in. Now, why does media fit in all this? What can we do as media people? There are two things. SDGs, while we know there are 17 goals, there are two goals particularly which refer to media. Media is part of the SDG framework, which is not generally talked about. So there are two of the SDGs which directly relate to media. One is SDG 9, which is on innovation and infrastructure. And it's about extending access to ICTs. It directly correlates with media. The other is ensuring affordable internet access. So this is one of the goals. The other goal is SDG 16, which is on peace, justice, and strong institutions. It has three targets. One is ensuring public access to information, which is very much media related. The other is protecting journalists and media personnel, again, very directly related. Third is tracking violations such as killings, detention, and censorship. This is also related to media directly. So which means that if you have strong media systems in place, they themselves could contribute to achievement of goals, maybe not by December, maybe later. The deadline may end, but the process has to continue even after that. We've seen this when Millennium Development Goals ended in 2015. We didn't achieve all of those goals, but it led to the birth of Sustainable Development Goals. So, which means the process will keep on continuing. The goals would be set. We may meet some of them. We may not meet some of them. But at the end of it, we'll have to keep on what development journey ongoing. And what is the second role of media here, which is in terms of reporting? Now, that reporting can be only done when we know the big picture, we know the fine print, we can connect the dots. That's critically important. How do you do this? So let me give you just one example. For example, a village using solar energy. Now, if we know the SDGs, this is not one story, these are 5 stories actually. How? For example, a village using solar energy can help reduce pollution, which can improve health. This is SDG 3. A village using solar energy can help children study late at night when the electricity is there. Earlier in, we're talking remote places also, villages also where the electricity is very time bound. So it means children can study, so we can contribute to education goal. Other story could be the energy, which is obvious, which is access to clean energy, which is SDG 7. There's SDG 8 also, economy. If we have solarized village, the industries can run longer. Electricity is still a problem in most of the India actually. And then SDG 13, climate, of course, which is very obvious, lower carbon footprint. So if we know SDG is actually for media people, it's very easy to approach any story and create a pitch for it and get it published. So just knowing the 17 goals, knowing the targets, and connecting the dots. That's something which will be very helpful for you guys going forward. Now, we also need to de-jargonize SDGs. What we talk about when you talk about SDGs, generally sustainability, climate change, the whole debate gets hijacked by carbon footprint or carbon budget, which is very difficult to relate to common man actually, because they can't comprehend. I can't comprehend what is carbon space, carbon budget. Tell me something which is relatable, which I can understand. Now, let's take SDG 6, for example, on water. All of us have taps at home. At some stage, they do leak. Now, just to give a sense of 1 drop dripping per second adds up to 400 liters of water. And what is 400 liters, guys? It's about, if people have rooftop tanks, that black tank, syntax tank, which we generally use, is 400 liters. So in a month, you're wasting 1 full tank of water, which is an average. You can have 1,000 liters also, but normally 400, 500 liter tanks all of us have at our homes. So those things need to be understood and related to people where they can appreciate. The second thing is when we, for example, very basic lifestyle things which our parents used to teach us, which your parents would be telling you, very common sense kind of things. This is no rocket science. When we brush our teeth, some of us keep water tap running. Now, what does this mean? In 2 minutes, we waste around 10 to 20 liters of water. What is 10 to 20 liters? It's half a bucket to full bucket. That's the kind of water we're wasting. And it's not only because I can afford, I will waste it. It doesn't work that way. If we look at some instances abroad, for example, if you throw away food which you're paid for, you'll be fined for that. The point is not only your affordability, the point is the larger impact is on the ecosystem. It has on the hunger in probably Africa. So we need to internalize these things. That's not only about the affordability I can afford and I'll do it. It's also about the kind of impact it has on other people. Now let's take the simple SD7 on energy. The earlier bulbs, they used to consume lots of energy. The CFL used 75% less energy. Now summer is coming, all of us use coolers or ACs at home. And we can be at times careless, maybe the packing is not complete. Now just to give you a sense of what we're talking about, 1/16 inch of a gap in a cooler packing or an AC packing. How much is that? This is like keeping a window open by 3 inches, this much. So this is a kind of cooling that is not happening. And on top of it, you're paying for it. So we need to internalize these kind of data figures, data points, and relate them to day-to-day life. That's how we can communicate with people actually. And of course, all of us keep on opening refrigerators and stuffing things, and we will keep it open till we collect all the stuff. And every time we open a refrigerator, it can lose up to 30% of cooled air. So those are things which need to be seen in terms of the impact. So that is where media's role comes in, where you guys come into picture, that you need to demystify issues related them to day-to-day lives. That's what people would be able to understand and appreciate. Now, that's not the only thing that you guys have the responsibility to do. You also need to push the boundaries further in terms of thought leadership, in terms of showing the way forward. Now, as we know, there's so many goals, so many targets, so many indicators. It's very overwhelming now at this stage with 70% of the targets achieved, so much to be done. One discourse that's happening globally is, can we pick some of the goals here, not all 17, which can be accelerator goals, which will help us to fast track other goals also. They're all interlinked. So quality education is one of the factors which has been quality education, clean water and sanitation, health, energy. These are some of the goals which through research, it has been proven that they can help us fast track other goals faster than other goals themselves. So those are kind of discourse we need to look at and talk to expert figure out and probably push those kind of conversations forward. So if we have to sum it up all, SDGs are off track. They're getting, of course, we're lagging more and more with each day. What can media do? Media can strengthen its own work on SDG 9/16, become part of the ecosystem itself, which it is already, de-jargonize SDGs, and then play a leadership role. But then it doesn't end here only, because all of you, or most of you, I'm sure you're here by choice. Your parents would have probably wanted you to go into engineering and work in TCS or somewhere else where the jobs are assured, where salaries are assured and life is assured. When people come to media, they still come out of passion, commitment. And that's very important, because that is what will help you to have a purpose in life and drive, find a story, do a bit of research and push boundaries, and probably also contribute to advancement of goals themselves. So that's where your role becomes very important. So you guys need to think about that. You're already excited with choice to be here. And now you have to make the most of it. You have to prove to yourself, and you're in a position to do that. Your life is slightly easier than ours. We used to have to go through newspapers for research. Of course, digital media is there for you. All the internet is there. But of course, you also need to look at what do you get on internet. You get what you ask for, typically, whether you chat GPT or AI or whatever. And then it gives you more and more of the same stuff. That's where you need to think of the big picture. If you have the big picture, you have the data which is fed by algorithms to you, then you'll be able to have a mix and match. Now, why does the big picture come from? It can come from simply reading a newspaper. It's a very basic thing. What is a newspaper? How is a newspaper different from the kind of feed you get in your mobile phone? It's simply different from, because a newspaper, just to, I know you know all of it, just to recap quickly, there's a reporter, there are reporters come with story ideas, there's a newsroom, they choose the best stories, it goes through sub-editor, it goes through news editor, it goes through editor. And then the news editors, then they place the stories on the page. So there are 100 stories, 50 stories, they'll place them in terms of importance. And then you can get the perspective and also the idea about how important the story is. Otherwise, you are only reading what you're fed, what you're looked for. So you don't have the big picture. So unless you know the big picture, you won't be able to understand the importance of the small thing. Maybe you have the bigger, your thing is the most important thing you're reading. So, but if you see the context, so that's very important. So you need to have the big picture. And newspaper is distilled wisdom, or even maybe it's at times it's also bias of lots of people, but it's still better than the only feed which you look for, which comes to you, because it gives you a perspective, the big picture, and you can figure out what to take forward. So in the end, I'll just sum it up, guys. Have a passion, have a purpose, and you'll go miles. I'll sum up with one couplet, Urdu couplet here. Probably some of you may have heard it. There's a couplet by Rahat Indori, one of the famous poets. ये कैंचियां हमें उड़ने से खाक रोकेंगी. कैंचिया means scissors, hurdles. ये कैंचियां हमें उड़ने से खाक रोकेंगी कि हम परों से नहीं हौसलों से उड़ते हैं. परों से the wings, हौसलों से daring. You're already excited. You're daring by being here. Just add a passion and purpose to this. You'll go miles. ये कैंचियां हमें उड़ने से खाक रोकेंगी कि हम परों से नहीं हौसलों से उड़ते हैं. So guys, all the best for your future.
Thank you, sir, for your compelling address and sharing your thoughts with such brilliant insights. Moving forward, it is an honor to have with us Mr. Ajit Kumar Singh, who is a seasoned marketing professional and FMCG growth strategist with over 17 years of experience in brand building, revenue generation, and go-to-market execution. Currently serving as Assistant General Manager, Marketing at Iota Water, he plays a pivotal role in driving strategic marketing initiatives, enhancing brand visibility, and creating impactful consumer engagement across diverse platforms. Prior to his current role, he has held key positions at leading organizations such as Patanjali Ayurveda, Bisleri International, where he managed large scale marketing operations, product launches, and category growth strategies. I request Sir to please come here for the address.
Good afternoon, all. It's very tough to listen after lunch, so clap for yourself first. So first of all, a big thank you to ICAN 8 and DME for giving us this incredible gateway to be part of such an inspiring platform. It's amazing to see a room full of bright-minded students, speakers, educators, and future leaders who are going to shape the narratives of tomorrow. At Iota Water, we are proud to have partnered with ICAN 8 International Conference as the Sustainable Hydration Partner. This is not just a collaboration. It's a shared belief of sustainability, innovation, and responsible living. This year theme, Media for People and Planet, truly resonate with us. Because today media is not just about information only, it's about influence, responsibility, and impact. And that's where you come in. As media student, you are not just content creators, you are storytellers, change makers, and the voice of society. You are the ones who will decide what the world sees, hears, and believes. At Iota Water, powered by advanced nanobubble technology, we are trying to bring a small but meaningful change, redefining hydration by combining science, wellness, and sustainability. Because the future is not just about innovation, it's all about responsible innovation. I would also like to appreciate Delhi Metropolitan Education for its incredible contribution over the past 14 years. The institution has truly built a strong ecosystem of learning, creativity, and forward-thinking education. And to all the students here, especially those in media, represent the fourth pillar of democracy. Your ideas, your voice, and your integrity will shape the future of our society. So think big, stay curious, be responsible. And the bottom line is using your platform to create a meaningful impact. Thank you. Thanks to Garima ma'am and Parul ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words, and also thank you for extending your support for the ICAN 8 and by making Iota Water a proud sustainable hydration partner. Thank you. Now, I would request our esteemed dignitaries to unveil the ICAN 7 book titled AI in Media and Culture. This unveiling stands as a testament to the academic legacy and intellectual contribution that ICAN continues to build after year and year. We would also like to unveil the conference proceedings. Request the dignitaries to please unveil it. I would now request the dignitaries to release the ICAN newsletter, Journalism at DME. I now request the newsletter team to please come forward also for a picture. The students, the teacher, coordinator, please come forward. We have with us Alap Mundapi, Anchal Jha, Rashri Sharma, headed by Ms. Chetna, Assistant Professor DME, under the supervision of Professor Dr. Parul Mehra. I request the technical team to play the digital version of the newsletter.
Ladies and gentlemen, DME Media School presents Journalism at DME, ICAN 8th edition. Let's have a huge round of applause.
Huge round of applause for the students of newsletter team. Thank you, dignitaries. Now comes a moment of celebration and recognition as we acknowledge excellence in research. We will now proceed with the best paper awards for the 6 technical sessions. 2 sessions were online yesterday and 4 sessions were online today. Technical session 1, Feminist Media Literacy. The title of the paper is Feminist Media Literacy, Gender Justice in Digital Communication Cultures by Anjalika Ghosh. May I request ma'am to please come on stage? It's Anjalika Ghoshal, right? Sorry. Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry. This is technical session 1, Feminist Media Literacy, Gender Justice in Digital Communication Cultures by Anjalika Ghoshal. Gushal. Congratulations, ma'am. For the technical session 2, we have influencer credibility and perceived ethical risks in digital health communication by Mitasha Guglani, co-authored by Dr. Priya Sachdeva. We have Mitasha on behalf of Dr. Sachdeva. There was another paper in this session also, analyzing the role of documentaries for wildlife conservation in India by Akai Negi and Dr. Ahana Chopra. I request Rishika to collect on behalf of them. Faculty. Thank you. We here also would like to felicitate the entire internal team of ICAN 8, the faculties from DME Media School. I request the dignitaries to kindly felicitate Professor Dr. Parul Mehra, ma'am. You are the head and convener. Of course, ma'am. You need recognition for running this milestone to another level. Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now request dignitaries to felicitate Dr. Yamini Kullar, convener ICAN 8. I would now request the dignitaries to kindly felicitate Ms. Chetna Sharma, my fellow co-convener at ICAN 8. I now request the dignitaries to felicitate
Dr. Divya Rastogi being the co-convener of ICAN 8, please.
the dignitaries to felicitate Dr. Vishal Sahai, Associate Professor, for his support throughout the event. I request Ms. Garima Jain, Academic Coordinator, DME, for her contribution to ICAN 8 in various capacities. I request the dignitaries to now felicitate Ms. Shifali Dr. Shifali Chibbar, Assistant Professor, DME Media School, for her support through the venue management and hospitality. Dr. Shifali Chibbar. May I now request dignitaries to felicitate Mr. Yogesh Sharma, leading the photography and videography team at the ME Media School. And a thunderous applause for the work for the students who have done. I now request dignitaries to felicitate Mr. Madhav Sharma for handling all the creative and technical aspects related to ICAN 8. I now request dignitaries to felicitate Ms. Lakshita Pant for her efforts in handling the decor of all the venues for ICAN 8. Thank you, dignitaries. I request you to be please seated. I now invite Dr. Yamini Kullar, Associate Professor and Convener ICAN 8, to deliver her vote of thanks.
Good evening, all of you. So now we have reached to the final moments of ICAN 8, the 8th edition of ICAN, an international conference. And my heart is full of the gratitude. Months ago, we have started with the blueprint of some ideas. And it took months for the planning, execution, organizing those ideas, transforming them into the events, contacting different people, talking with different kind of platforms. And then the day came, 16th and 17th of April, a vibrant platform where, you know, intellectuals ideas got exchanged, groundbreaking discourse, and global networking. Yesterday, we had about 7 to 8 countries, people talking on the different time with different time zones, with different kind of languages, but the same topic, that is development communication. I think development has a different kind of definition for each of everyone. We had people from US also, from Pakistan also, from India also, from Canada also, and I think development is different for each of us, different is for each one of us, but we still are thriving for it. But still we think that we are getting developed. We are getting developed each and every time. Tiku sir has rightly said that 2030 is approaching very soon. We are still fighting. Some people are waiting for ceasefire. Some people are still waiting for petrol prices are hiking. Some people are still waiting to watch television every day for the sensationalism of the news. Some people are waiting for the cylinder lines for getting their LPG filled. So development is different for each and everyone, and we are here for the development conference. So the definition is different, but everyone is waiting for their development to happen. So this conference, we initiated this dialogue for the development, but it has given us different horizons, different perspectives from the different people of all around the world. And I think that this ICAN has given us a different kind of statement, different kind of, you know, definitions and interpretations for the next ICAN. Or we can say we can come up with the we can rather than I can. So with this note, I would like to start the vote of thanks. And as the convener of this conference, it is my distinct honor to propose the vote of thanks to our visionaries and guests. I wish to express my greatest gratitude to our guest of honors and to our sponsors, of course, to Mr. Rajiv Tikuji. Sir, we are very thankful to you and obliged that you are here. And it was honor to listen to you. And to Mr. Ajit Singh ji for your sponsorship, sir, for such a cause for which you have sponsored us, because many sponsors are here, but there are very less people who sponsor for such causes for the developmental issues. I wish to give my gratitude for this, the person who has given us such a platform, to the management of DME, Mr. Aman Sani, to Nishta Sani ma'am, and the constant support which we get from the Director General sir, from the Director ma'am, Professor Dr. Komal Vij ma'am. She was our backbone and a constant support to us throughout our journey from the starting of the ICAN till here. Ma'am is sitting with us on this dais. She was our constant support to us from all the approvals till here, sitting with us at this moment. Thank you, ma'am, for all your constant support and guidance. I wish to give all my thanks to the organizing team here, from the technical committee for your meticulous peer-to-peer review process, to the core organizing committee, from the logistic to the hospitality, to the digital infrastructure we are having here, from the power supply to the master classes, to all hybrid sessions we had, to all the student volunteers who worked here day and night with we can do spirit here, from the time in the morning to the last to leave with us. To our partners and sponsors, we are profoundly grateful to our knowledge partners and sponsors, Kalindi College, Delhi University, KES Shroff College, Mumbai. Special thanks to our sponsor, Iota Water, Sustainable Hydration Partner. To our conference partners, International Association for Media and Communication Research, IMCR, Gender and History Section. So, as we officially conclude ICAN 8 with such a developmental note and with the different horizons to look forward for the development, for the different notes for the upcoming conferences, I hope you carry home more than just a certificate. I hope you leave with new collaborations, renewed inspirations, and perhaps few questions that will lead to your next good discovery for our upcoming research papers, for our upcoming new horizons, and with upcoming new engagements with new professionals. Thank you. None of us, including me, ever do great things, but we can all do small things with great love, with development. Together, we can do something wonderful. We can and I can. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Have a safe journey. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank our esteemed guests, dignitaries, our hydration partner, Iota Water, faculty members, participants, scholars, students, and organizer for making this conference a meaningful success. Request each one of you to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Students, please be seated until the dignitaries leave. Okay.
ये वाला कैमरा भी लेके साइड में